Have you started yet?
No. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the Spit Studios in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada, this is the Spit Sports Show. Guys, we are actually back in a real studio, and I'm going to cut right to the chase because we have lots to get to. We have a couple football segments, a hockey segment, a bloody baseball segment.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to the popular demand from these two individuals. But here's where I want to start because as humans in this world, we tend to take things for granted. We really do. If you are out there watching this podcast right now, you are a very lucky individual. You have Wi-Fi, obviously, or some kind of cellular connection. You have some kind of technology to access this YouTube podcast, whatever you want to call it. You are a lucky son of a gun. And we sometimes take our jobs and our situations for granted as well, which I'm going to articulate with a quick analogy. I was working, or still do, I work at a grocery store. And we go, obviously, on till to scan out the groceries. And the way we usually do it is you get a break every 2 hours. So you do hour 45, take a break, 2 hours, take a break, blah, blah, blah. But one day, we left this guy, I'm going to call him Tommy, on till. We left Tommy on till accidentally left him on till for 8 hours without any breaks. Now, how the manager didn't realize that Tommy had been on till for this long, I don't know, but he didn't. So when I went up to Tommy and said, Tommy, how have you not talked to a manager about taking your break? Because you think he'd, step up and say something. He said, 8 hours is nothing. I worked at a gas station before this, and I was on till for 12, 13 hours straight. So I'm used to it. And I said, that's interesting. Because I think of 2 hours as this great long time on till, and this guy has just reminded me how lucky I am to only be on till for that amount of time instead of 13 hours straight in a gas station where realistically you're going to see the worst kinds of people compared to, a middle-class grocery store. How that ties into football is this. What went wrong with the Eagles last year? The Eagles were rolling. 10-1, one of the best record in the NFC, but after losing to the Cowboys 33-16, I think it was, they simply spiraled out of control, and there were really no major injuries to account for. It was the worst defense in the league over that stretch, 32 out of 32. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's relationship was reported as, quote, a work in progress after they had already spent 3 years together. Now, I gotta be honest, I've known these two for about 2 months. I would not say our relationship is a work in progress. I'd say we have a relationship.
Yep.
There's no way a head coach quarterback relationship can be 3 years in and you're a work in progress. Then it doesn't work. Everything was going wrong, and I have never, to this day, seen a football team quit, especially in the bloody playoffs like the Eagles did against the Bucs last year. From the first snap of that ball game, it was over. The Bucs simply wanted it more than the Eagles did. The Eagles looked like they wanted their season to end, which is baffling, but it's true. So, the Eagles go into this offseason, and they already have the talent to make it deep into the playoffs. We saw them go to a Super Bowl with this exact core. And they go and get Saquon Barkley, who, in this case, is the equivalent to have worked in a gas station for years. Saquon Barkley worked in the worst environment in the NFL. The Giants suck. They have sucked for as long as I have been a football fan. Their franchise is poorly run. They never have any talent. It feels like they have no direction as to where they're going. Their stadium sucks. Their turf sucks. Their uniforms are boring. Their alternates are the worst. Huh?
I've been to that stadium.
Have you? The turf sucks.
It's weird.
But
Like a wind tunnel.
the Giants, being the awful franchise that they are, they let him escape to their division rival Philadelphia Eagles. So he comes into this organization as not just one of the best running back talents in the league, which he's proving now to be.
Not as good as Alvin Kamara, but,
Okay.
Okay.
I was going to
But-
say 9.
He not only comes in as a talent booster, he comes in as the ultimate vibe booster. Because his attitude is like, guys, you don't realize how lucky you have it here in Philly. You have a well-run organization. You have great players on your roster. Obviously, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are great. The O-line's still fantastic with Mailata and Johnson at tackle. The secondary has been much improved this offseason with DeJean and Quinn and Mitchell. You had all the talent you needed, but you needed someone to come in with this joyful attitude to lift up other players, and you see it on the field now. You don't even have to be in their locker room meetings. You saw how much he celebrated for Gainwell's touchdown the other day. When he broke Philly's team rushing record, he went up to every single one of his O-linemen. We broke that record. Not I broke it. We broke it. You see everything he's doing to lift this organization up, not just as a potential 2,000-yard rusher, but as a guy who saved a dying culture. And I'm not a fan of Nick Sirianni. I think he's flatly a bad head coach. So for Saquon Barkley to not only come in and change the Eagles on the field, but in the locker room the way I think he has, with his joyous attitude towards the organization. He's mentioned before this is the happiest he's ever been. He's completely revitalized. And who wouldn't be after being with the Giants forever? The Eagles players, I think, took their situation for granted. And how great they have it there with their talent pool. Jeffrey Lurie is their general manager. And Saquon reminded them of that. And their vibes have been up since. And it's hard not to have up vibes when you have a 2,000-yard rusher coming down your throat every single game. That is a scary... Pause. That's a scary team.
No.
That's a scary team. And it can turn around a franchise in a few months. You're weird. Philly's scary. And I'm going to get into the Lions later and how they compare. But please don't let that last comment make up for that rant, because I thought that rant was good.
I thought it was a good
rant, but that was the most unexpected ending to a sentence.
Okay, whatever. Eagles are scary. We'll get into that more later. But before we do, I want to talk about our Vancouver Canucks.
They
seem
are
to
you
be-
switching to hockey?
Yeah,
Okay.
they seem to be popular around
Well, I
here.
was going to touch on, like, the Eagles are definitely really good, and I think it's a good spot for him.
Wow, that's great. That's great
so
insight.
deep.
Thanks
Oh
for
my-
adding
And,
on
you
to
know,
that.
I wish the Saints were run like the Eagles.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I do.
They were for a while.
And they were awesome, and I miss those days.
Yeah. So Besser's coming back tonight.
Woo!
Yay! We're excited. Big game against Boston at 4:00. It's also reported.
Bruins suck. Hate
What?
The Bruins.
Do you?
Don't like the Bruins.
They've won their last two.
I don't like the Bruins.
Won their last two.
I don't think they suck. I think they're good. I think they're terrible.
You don't think they suck. You think they're good. You think they're terrible.
They're
Pick
terrible.
one. They're terrible.
They're
Great.
terrible.
And also, it was reported that Thatcher Demko was on the ice at practice the other day, looked good throughout the entire thing, and is scheduled to pretty much be day-to-day from here on out.
Thank
So,
God.
boys, with this momentum change in the roster, can the Canucks start winning some games at home?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Let me just say, I think if any team's most likely to go on a historical last three-quarter, because we're only a quarter, right? If anyone's going to go on a historical last three-quarter run,
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
it's set up to be the Canucks. If Demko comes back and plays like he did last year, and then Besser's back and Miller's coming, and these prospects get a little bit of experience, I think. Love the prospects. They come back, get a little bit of experience. I think, honestly, the Canucks, and Pettersson's playing at over a point per game again. I think the Canucks, honestly, look kind of unstoppable going forward if all this works out.
It's just so far
Now,
too much.
definitely, I could definitely see Demko coming back and being total butt. Total butt.
Total butt.
I bet you he comes back. I'm not gonna say I bet, but it would not surprise me if in his first game he lets up 5 goals.
I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I don't think he'll be like he was last season for a bit until about halfway through the season.
That could be our one downfall.
Because I don't think he's going to get regular playing time, like starting goalie when he just comes back. I think it's going to be flip-flopping between Lankinen and Demko. But once Demko starts having some good games, or even a shutout, hopefully, he'll definitely take the starter spot back.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's...
I
I
say
agree with that.
unstoppable when Miller's still out, though.
Oh.
Teddy Bluger's still your second
Oh,
line center.
I think Besser coming back, that's going to just kind of jolt them up, especially on this, I don't want to say easy, but easier road trip.
Sorry, Danton Heinen on the second line is...
I'm a fan of Danton Heinen. He's
Danton
my
Heinen,
guy.
Teddy Bluger, Brock Besser.
He's
That's
my
your second.
Sur-
That's
he's
your
my-
unstoppable second
He's my
line.
Surrey man.
Is he?
He is from...
Surrey.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Arshdeep Baines went to my elementary school? I think I told
Yeah,
you
you
that
told-
before.
It's so weird you're not hot on him then.
Dude, I was at the...
I am hot on him.
I
He's
was
just
at
not an
the-
NHL player.
I'm major
I was
hot
at the
on him.
Diwali night
High on him.
when he scored, but it got called back.
That was tragic.
Dude.
That was tragic.
Oh, that would have been special if he
Thomas,
scored
you're
on
not
Diwali
wrong
night.
about a pretty easy road trip, though. We've got Bruins, Penguins tomorrow, Sabres, Red Wings, Wild, Blue Jackets, Tampa, who's good, the Blues, who
That's why
aren't
we're at
good,
home.
and then Panthers. But then you're back at home for Panthers.
You know how
Bruins.
well we do on the road, though. We're awesome on the road.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that homestand because I think Panthers come to us,
Lightning.
Bruins come to us,
I'll be at the Blues
Avalanche
game.
come to us. It's
Going to the Blues game?
that 4-game homestand in mid-December. That's gonna be huge.
Honestly, I think the Canucks have the pieces to put it together, but how the season's going, it's just a matter of fact, will they?
Yeah.
Will they? It's
Well,
just up to them.
With that second line right now, though, we need Miller back.
So
ASAP.
bad, so bad, actually.
But Miller would go on the first line.
With
Or do you put...
Miller has to be on the first line.
Why is Pusid on the third line?
Unless he takes he has to roll back into things after.
They're splitting up the dream
I feel
team
like
third
after
line.
a personal leave, you shouldn't have to ramp up too much if it's not like an injury.
Exactly. I think. Well, yeah, that too. I think there's no reason why Miller shouldn't be on the first line. I think he's our. Honestly, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Miller's our best forward. He is a dog, man. I feel 10 times more confident when
Last
Miller's
season,
on the ice.
sure. Last season, sure.
Still,
But
It's Besser this
he's
year.
still that same guy. Besser's awesome, but Besser is not the dog that Miller is. Miller needs to win, and I love that about him.
Miller has been great this season.
That's okay. He's taking a leave. He's gonna come back. He's gonna be reset. Probably has a lot on his mind right now.
You know what? I agree with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Is
You
the
think
I
so?
think best forward on
I
the team.
think he
Until
needs to be
further
on the
notice. I think he's I wouldn't be surprised at all if he comes back and his numbers fall off a bit and Besser keeps scoring. But
I think
For
he
now.
needs to be on the first line. Even if he's not putting up that goal scoring, he needs to be there to get that jolt
the
going.
thing is that's so unique about the Canucks though is when they're healthy, that first, second, third line are kind of interchangeable. Like you don't really have a
Definitely
first,
the
second.
first and second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the third line could be a second line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like you can really
Yeah.
play any of them in
Mhm.
any sort of situation and you'll probably be fine.
At the moment,
it's
I
just-
think it would be weird not to have Pedersen on the first line
Why?
Until Miller
because he's
comes
playing
back.
so well.
Well, yeah, until Miller comes back.
But then
guys,
what-
again, I said this last podcast. We got to stop praising Pedersen. He's making 11.5 mil. He's doing his job.
That's
He's
okay.
finally getting back to his
That's
form,
awesome.
It
though.
doesn't
He
matter.
should be doing this the whole
It doesn't.
time.
It doesn't matter what he's making. Does he give us a better chance to win on the first line or the second line? It's first line.
It depends on the minutes. I don't
It's
care
the
what
first.
number you're.
Look,
lining
he is.
up.
He's getting paid over 11 million. but you
Kiefer
can't-
Sherwood's still in our
When he
first
goes in
line.
a slump, you can't just keep dogging on him to get better. Once you see him get better, you have to praise that.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
You do.
No, I don't. That's
I
what
don't
he's
care.
supposed to do.
I don't
what
care.
are you talking about?
I don't care about how much he's making at the moment. I just want the Canucks to win.
You know what I want?
The
I
Canucks
want him
to
to
win.
play well in the playoffs, which he hasn't
Oh yeah,
done
me
ever.
too. But I need the Canucks to win, and I think that he has a better chance of winning when he's playing with Nebraska on the first line at the moment.
That's fine.
Where's Besser supposed to slot in tonight?
He's second line with Bluger and Heinen. But
Uh.
let's switch from a team in blue that doesn't have their stuff together at all to a team in blue that is the best
Oh,
team in the entire
Oh, the
NFL.
Seahawks?
Oh,
Huh?
they were
The
blue?
Seahawks,
I thought it was
who
Blue Jay time.
it's
Seahawks-
definitely not Blue Jay time.
Seahawks were blue.
Lions play the Bears on Thursday, obviously. And at 9:30 a.m., it's going to be a struggle for me in Canada to watch the game because obviously I have a life. There's no Thanksgiving here, but we'll figure it out.
Got
Who you,
This-
who you taking?
Okay, well, I'm going to get into that because
Who's
this
home?
game scares the hell out of me. It's in Detroit. Here's why it scares the hell out of me. First of all, Carlton Davis might not play this game. His leg got shaken up pretty bad last game. His knee, I think it was. He is our best corner, and he might be out. The reason why that matters so much is because the Bears' strength by a mile on offense is their receiving core. With DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, that's a lot of good players. Can you go do the thing on the computer? That's a lot of good players on the outside. So if you don't have Carlton Davis, and it's Kendall Vildor and Terrion Arnold, and the Lions obviously play more man coverage than any other team, that's a recipe for a lot of Caleb Williams passing yards, and that's scary. The thing that makes me feel a little bit better about it is the Bears O-line sucks, and our pass rush has been really good lately. In fact, I thought that was the best element in the game against the Colts, how impressive, especially the interior pass rush was with Aleem McNeil and Zadarius Smith. Doesn't mean this game still doesn't scare the crap out of me, because if they can't get to Caleb quick, or Caleb breaks the pocket and, makes one of his off-schedule plays, which he's very good at doing, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. Now, I think we're going to put up 27 to 35 in our sleep. But will that be enough? I have no idea. And the reason why a loss would scare me so much is because even though the Eagles have a worse record than the Lions, they're actually in a better standings position. And here's what I mean by that. The Lions are sitting at number 1 in the NFC at 10-1. But right behind them, on their heels, are the Vikings at 9-2, and then you had the Packers at 8-3. If the Vikings jump them, or the Packers happen to jump them, I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, the Lions fall all the way to the 5 seed, which is an issue, because you go from Goff having a bye, 2 dome games to get to the Super Bowl, to probably playing 3 outdoor games, or, in Minnesota, which is no gimme. That's huge. So the Lions need to hold on to that 1 seed, and obviously an in-division loss goes a long way to someone catching up to them in that division and them dropping to the 5 seed, whereas Philly is kind of locked into that 2 seed because Dallas is so bad and the Commanders have been kind of exposed lately. So
Commander's still good, though.
they're okay, but they're not winning that division over Philly. So Philly's locked into the 2 seed. The Lions could drop to the 5 if they happen to drop one of these games, especially one of the winnable ones. This is obviously a winnable game, but I don't love all of the matchups. So we'll see how it goes there. So, with that,
Oh, yeah.
I promised...
It's Blue Jay time.
No, listen to me. I promised these two that they could have 5 minutes to talk about baseball, because my thoughts is, it's the baseball offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's happening.
Everything's
no
happening.
one's signed. No one cares. These boys disagree. I'm going to pull up my clock right now.
No, don't do that.
Bro.
And
bro.
you guys are going to have 5 minutes.
We each get through all our points. Okay, so pretty much what we're going to talk about is the Blue Jays, our favorite baseball team, and what
The
their
best baseball team.
the best baseball team, and what their priorities should be for the off season, considering that Ross Atkins has said he wants to be competitive next year. So, Big Red, what do you think should be the 3 things that the Blue Jays got to do this offseason to be a playoff team next year?
Well, first obvious one, re-sign Vladdy. I mean, we saw he popped off in 2021, second MVP, 22, 23, disappointing but still good.
Still above average.
Yeah.
Well
and then
above
2024 brings it back. I mean, 950 OPS, if you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, he was really good.
On base percentage?
Oh.
On base plus slugging.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Anything like
Pretty
above
much
800 is
determines
good.
how good of a hitter you are, which is it depends what it is in the league that year.
So
okay,
whatever
you
they
wanna
give
bring
him,
back
whatever he wants, you give him. I mean,
Vlad. Whatever he wants, I'd say probably like 30 mil a year is appropriate, considering he's already said he wants to stay in Toronto.
And then my other thing is another everyday infielder. Now we have Bo Bichette, and when he's healthy and great, another 300 average hitter.
Yeah.
Great. Okay defense, he's been getting better at that. But we need another either everyday third baseman or second baseman, I think. There's too many flip-flops, too many young guys that are coming in. They're not performing well.
So who you think's realistic there?
Can Adames play third?
I would say why put Adames at third when he can play second? Because
Oh,
you got
true.
Clement.
Yeah.
And I'd say I'd rather start Clement every day than Leo Jimenez.
Yeah, so Adames at second base would be ideal, because then you have your infield sorted out.
Yeah.
And then you have consistency, because Blue Jays knew they weren't going to win. And those prospects, they were okay, but you can't have them on a playoff team. And then my last one is to improve the bullpen. We just let go of Jordan Romano, our closer. I see why. He was injured a lot, and he wanted like $8 million. And you don't want to pay $8 million for a guy who isn't going to play. And so I think getting 3 solid bullpen arms will definitely help us, because didn't we have like the worst bullpen last season?
Yeah, had terrible bullpen. That's a lot of the reason why we lost games, along with not getting the offense going. So that kind of brings me to my points here. In the 2 minutes and 30 seconds I have left. I also said add bullpen depth. I've seen some mock trades online for Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals, which I think would be a major addition. Also, maybe this one's kind of daydreaming, like realistic. Devin Williams from the Brewers, because, like, come on, he's the best closer.
He's an
in the
elite
league.
closer.
He's the best closer in the league. Okay, he's not giving up any runs. I'm skeptical with the Blue Jays and talking about trades, because they have one of the last ranked farms at the moment. They don't really have anyone that particularly valuable that they can move. So I don't really know how trades are going to happen. I think you have a better shot in free agency, in all honesty, which is scary to say because, remember, I like it when they can trade and sign free agents. My second point was add pop in the outfield. Now, my idea was potentially to sign... I see they're pursuing Anthony Santander, which I think is the best move that they could possibly do. If not, that does not work out. I'd say offer up the White Sox, make a trade for Luis Robert Jr. I'd say trade Barger and Orelvis Martinez, if you have to. That guy's a really good guy. If you want to be competitive next year, he's kind of an absolute must. Or Santander, of course. And I would say sign infielder. Particularly play second because I think Clement is good at third.
Yeah,
he can give you great defense. He'll give you 10 homers or
average
so.
hitting.
Yeah, he'll be okay. I don't think he should bat number 1.
No, but honestly, an average hitter is fine.
I
if
think
we bolster every other position, we'll take
that's good.
An average guy.
I don't know. It seems like Adamez has no interest in coming to the Jays, at least what I've seen. It looks like he's going Dodgers or Mets. Unfortunately, although for third base, I've seen mock trades for potentially Alec Boehm from the Phillies or Arenado from the Cardinals, which aren't great either. But I think a second baseman, I don't exactly know who's a free agent right now. I should know, but I don't really know who else other than Adamez. It should be someone. And then, yeah, pretty much that's what you need to be competitive next year. I mean, I don't think you touch the starting rotation.
No.
They're good. They're going to bounce
great
back.
Potential. I mean, down years for almost all of them, but
yeah,
you know their potential. You know what they can do.
And I think Manoah's going to come back and have at least a league average season. And I think if that happens, they can secure a playoff spot. And honestly, maybe resign Danny Jansen, because I don't think Jonathan Clase, if he's your backup. Honestly, in all honesty, you have to see what happens in spring training.
And with Kirk, if he can bounce back like 2023.
And with Kirk, because then catching's a huge hole.
There is
honestly.
no way you just spent 5 minutes talking about baseball and the words Juan or Soto didn't come out of your mouth.
We don't like
okay.
Juan Soto. We don't want Juan
Crazy.
Soto.
No, but
Unpopular
all of the,
opinion.
For all of the,
Unpopular
don't lean
opinion.
into the mic.
Unpopular opinion. Juan Soto would be a huge overpay. I know it's not our money. I know tons of Blue Jays fans want Juan Soto.
Let's see where it's spiked.
Tons of Blue Jays fans want Juan Soto, but everyone will be talking about how you're paying. If he goes through a slump, which is inevitable, you play for the Blue Jays, you're going to go through a slump at some point. Everyone's going to be paying how they're paying this guy $40 million a year, and Spencer Horwitz, you're paying under $1 million.
That wasn't an invite to talk about more baseball. It's just more of a comment on the fact that you
gave us
don't
time.
shut up about this one
I
guy.
think we're very efficient with that.
I agree, but I'm just saying it was interesting in your efficiency. You don't shut up about this one guy on a day-to-day basis, and you didn't mention.
Come on,
because
Juan
we
Soto's
wanted the
not
three
coming
key,
to the
not
Blue
the
Jays.
3 worst.
How about the topics that'll create the most buzz, guys?
Juan Soto's not coming to the
Juan
Blue Jays.
Soto
Let's
is
be
not
honest.
worth what he's gonna get.
He's gonna have to pay double in taxes in Canada. Let's be honest. He's not coming to the Blue Jays, and I'm okay with that. I think you're more better off to sign a couple guys if you want to be playoff bound next year from a team who's definitely not playoff bound last year. You want to be playoff bound this year, you need to bolster your whole lineup and bolster your pen before you add one guy. Because if you sign Juan Soto, that's it. You're not doing anything else in the offseason, probably. You know? Yeah. Juan Soto's not going to... Juan Soto alone is not going to turn your shitty...
You son of a gun, man. You were so close.
You're not as good
and then
baseball.
You peaked the audio and swore in the last 2 minutes. Thanks for that.
Juan Soto's not going to turn your not as good unplayoff bound baseball team into a World Series contender.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna wrap it right there because if we don't, this guy's gonna go
Although
on
he did
forever.
for the Yankees. which
Thank
kinda
you
weird.
all so much for watching. Help me root for the Lions on Thursday because that's
Let
a
us-
big
Let
game.
us know what you think of the baseball segment and if you want more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
it-
want more baseball, please comment. We can get our own show.
I will personally reply to a comment that
Yeah, I
says
bet you would.
I will.
I bet you would. We'll see what happens. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like on the video. If you really enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. We just hit over 360 subscribers. Big stuff happening on the Spit Sports Show. As always, I'll see you all next.
Peace out.